never seen a face as beautiful as yours. For sure, I don't wanna keep you public waiting. I'm not gonna hold you back no more. Beautiful girl, I know you're a beautiful girl. I know. You're a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to review some of my fancy silks for you. Thanks also to Jonathan Brooke for lending us her song for the opening of the show. Check out her show on Mondays at 2 p.m. Central Time. You won't regret it. Okay, so let's dive in. Kelly, my Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, has got some nice little shots for us, and I'm going to just review a few things that I did. I started some of these fancier things, silk things, about, I think, 2.5 years ago, and I specifically fell in love with this fabric called Double Silk Georgette, which I loved it because it has this amazing weight and it has this incredible movement and flow when you walk, and I fell in love with that. You know, when I was a kid and I used to watch Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, I was like, I really, first of all, who could hold a candle to his dancing, right? But I was transfixed by her because of the things she wore when she was dancing and the movement that they had. I was completely enamored with it as a child. So I think that kind of stuck in my head from so long ago. And I really wanted to make some things that really lend themselves to just simply being and walking. So I did this shirt that I'm wearing, which is, it's a one size piece. And if you can see, the body of it is really kind of from elbow to elbow. So the circumference is huge. I think from elbow to elbow is about, I think, 30 inches. So the circumference is about 60 or maybe a little bit bigger. But so as you can see, there's no real armhole in it. So it really is for everybody's size. You know, if I could change one thing about my body, I would be taller. But if I could change two, I would be taller and I'd have bigger shoulders. So, but I really like it. And I like the way that it moves when I walk. It is a little longer in the back. And it's just a lovely light fabric. I also chose to wear this one because when I made this, I wanted to make something that was really sort of like really a canvas for jewelry, because I love jewelry so much. And I'm always like building an outfit around a necklace or a pair of earrings or something. So I wanted to really make something that just seemed like it was just like a good slate or backdrop for jewelry. Because if you know me, you know I love jewelry. So this is why I wore this one, because I could wear my jewelry with it. And I feel like you could also wear something longer. And you could also throw on, you know, like a scarf that picks up the dark. The shirt is actually like a really super, super dark green black that I'm wearing. But, you know, if you ignore my pants for a second, it's hard to ignore these pants. But anyway, I think that's really nice. And it just kind of makes it this really cool, super fancy, super amped up thing, but really with this vibe of like, I'm not even trying, which I love. Okay. So let's dive in, because I made some, oh, hey, Katya. That's my model, everybody. How are you? Are you alive? Anyway, soon after COVID, we'll have her. And I'm going to ask her to come in and talk about skin and stuff. She has a skin salon in Nashville, which is amazing. Anyway, I love you. I hope you're doing well. So let's look at some of the videos for this top, Kelly. So how pretty is that, right? So you can really see it's got great movement. And also, she's very, very thin. She's like a small size 4. She's got really good shoulders. She's narrow through the hips, long-legged, the whole thing. I think she's 5'7.5", but you can clearly see her body when she walks, which is why I love this fabric, because um, it's just not so heavy that it's going to cover up really the good stuff. And I think that I love that it's kind of big and flowy and sexy, and she's got this gorgeous figure, but you see it when she moves. It's not just about camouflaging. So I really love that one. That is this one. And this is a print that I did, a giraffe print that I did, I think it's a couple years ago now. And I just was crazy about this thing. I did a lot of black and whites in this. I did a lot of base colors under this print, but this is such a pretty print. And when I made this shirt, this was actually the first one that I made. And I woke up really early the next morning. I hadn't tried it on yet. And I went out in the backyard where no one can see that part of the driveway because it winds around the back of the house. And I had these little booties on and just the shirt. And I just walked around the back of my driveway in a circle, just walked around and around because I was like, it's perfect. It just feels so great. And I love that the front of it is mid-thigh. So, you do get that lengthening thing of like, oh, she's got long legs that go all the way up, which is so helpful. And Kelly, can you show them that photograph that I gave to you with Katya wearing the cropped flare pants? Yeah. So when we first went into the studio to do the photo shoot, sometimes I know what I'm going to do and sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do. And this for sure was an experiment because I had done these really great, this series of these crop flare leggings, and I was very happy with them. And then we put that on her and I just kept thinking something is just not right. And so when we put the long pant, the long flare on her, it changed the whole thing. And suddenly it just had balance and it worked. So that's what I thought was going to work, but it didn't. So I would say put a long pant with it. A little bit of a boot cut at the bottom is really better. It adds for that femininity and it gives it that subtle A-line, which is so helpful on the body. So this was the first one that I did. And I did a beautiful scarf to match it, which is light as air. And, if you don't have 20 diamond necklaces to just cascade down, then you just wear the scarf and it's just, this thing is air. It's just air, especially in this color with the scarf. Okay, so that's that guy. What do we have next, Kelly? Okay, so this one, actually, I sold this to a client in Chicago, and I was really heartbroken when she bought it. And I'm not going to mention any names, Sandy. But anyway, she bought this, and she has, kind of like that silvery gray, amazing head of hair. And I thought, oh my God, that's going to be fantastic on her. But this thing was just so brilliant and wonderful and thrilling to photograph. It's this amazing blue it's like a light blue, but it's got this real sort of punch of richness. And I was crazy about this print that we did. And this was just one of my favorite things that I made in this top. And I'm still sort of sitting Shiva and grieving over the loss of it. But anyway, that was a beautiful piece. Next slide, Kelly. Okay, so if you've been watching any of my shows or looking at my stuff online, you've seen this dot theme. And I love the dot theme because I think it's a very whimsical print. I know that a lot of women love polka dots, and I'm not the hugest polka dot fan, but I love this. And I think I love it because it's a little bit unexpected. I love that the pattern waves. And that they're not all the same size, and that keeps it interesting for me. And I think this would be fabulous with, just black pants or black jeans. I also think that this would be amazing with, they're showing a lot of high boots, not just the heel, but, the boots that come up almost to the knee or even a little bit above. I think that this would be amazing with even an over the knee black boot, just that. and just this, and then go on the scarf. And then it's really fabulous. You have a great purse. You could, kind of seal the deal with that. Everything looks nicer with a purse, doesn't it? Okay, that's that one. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, and its counterpart in pink, which is so pretty, just so pretty. Now, I love it with white like we're showing it in the photograph. To me, obviously you could wear it with black. I think you could also wear this with a super, super dark denim. And, if you're a belt girl, you can definitely belt it. There's no reason why you couldn't belt it. Look great. I also think that, if you wanted to unbutton one more button and wear like a really fancy little silken lace camisole in like a really bright color, like hot pink or something, they have those beautiful like periwinkle blues, that little hit of color and that little sort of femininity. I think that could go a million miles with this shirt. I think that would be amazing and very, very sexy too. Okay, next slide, Kelly. That one we did already. Okay, great. Next one. Okay, this one I also sold to a client, but this was this beautiful botanical electric blue that I've been showing for spring. You saw it in a lot of my sweatshirts and the t-shirts, but this thing truly was, alive and breathing. It's so electric and such a pretty color. So I showed it on the left side with just the matching scarf in the silk modal, which is from Italy, and then we do the artwork on them. And then on the right, this was that string cashmere. That's that uber, uber lightweight. And I actually loved taking this picture because I love that scarf is a different texture than the top itself. And I think that one of the greatest tips I ever got was about home decor, and I just sort of pulled it over into fashion. And it said, use as many different textures as you can, like even if you have a similar color palette, to vary all your textures. So for me, I just thought, oh my God, that's a brilliant tip for fashion, really. So I love this because everything about the shirt changes just because of that scarf. Like it's such a different looking animal from just the silky looking flowing scarf. And I love that's something that small and simple can give you such versatility. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, my aqua, this was a beautiful color. We did a lot of this for spring. Where's this guy? And I loved this. I know I've talked about how beautiful this looks with gold, these sort of like the cool and the warm tones. Do we have the video of this one, Kelly? I can't remember if this is one we chose.
No, not this one.
Oh, okay. So maybe if you're able to find it, maybe we can show it in a minute, and I'll talk about the scarf. So this one is, sorry, Kelly. This one is the same, and this is the tonal. And I love that you've got the stripes going up and down in the scarf, and I love that you've got the perpendicular stripe on the blouse. I think that's so beautiful. And again, this is just light as a feather. It's just light as air. It's so like, it's onion skin. And then I can show you it with this scarf as well, which is the same base color in the aqua and gray. And that changes it. I mean, I think it becomes a little more conservative, a little safer, not to have so much pattern, but I think it's elegant and lovely. I think this would be beautiful with pearls, any color pearls. And then I also wanted to show you the cashmere string with it, which gives it just a little bit more of a deeper, hit of color. And I think that's beautiful. That would look like really, really pretty, right? So pretty. Okay. Kelly, did you have any luck finding that video? If not, we can move on.
Not yet. I have to re-upload it, so I can bring it back up for you later if you would like it.
Okay, yeah, let's show it later if we can
Okay.
find it. Okay, so next slide is, okay, the purple. So this was my ode to stripes in the pandemic, fancy jail time. So I love purple, and I think it's great on so many skin tones and so many hair colors. Brunette, you know, blonde, redhead, strawberry blonde, black hair, light blonde, silver gray, beautiful. So this is again so pretty. I wanted to show you two different scarves with it. I think that's very interesting. I think it's a little more unexpected. And it would take, I don't know, just a little bolder gal to wear it, but I love how that looks together. And then also this one, which has really just the all over kind of base color. I think that's very pretty too. Very pretty. Around the neck. That's nice. Pretty, elegant, feminine. Okay, next slide there. Okay, so this one I don't have anymore either, but this was a beautiful hand paint, and I was using a bright purple, an eggplant. That thing that you think looks like black there is actually a deep eggplant, and I used this kind of peach that was kind of pale, kind of cantaloupe-y, a little hot and cold within the color, but that was very pretty, super pretty, and really jewel tones. Those are strong colors. Next slide. Okay, so I also love green. I think I've mentioned that a few times. And this is this kind of green black that I did that's not really green and it's not really black. It's sort of this nebulous color, kind of a neutral, sort of a slate green gray. But I love this one. And I love this piece particularly for its subtlety. I think it's so pretty in that it's understated, and it's not this hitting you over the head with either color or pattern. And it does have a pattern on it, but it really is, it's so subtle. Those are like these tiniest rubber bands that we use, and we try to grab as much as the garment as we can so that we have these super sort of skinny veins. And they look very kind of like jellyfish when you're up close. They really kind of, there's a lot of variation in color, in depth, and also in the strength of the actual white veins themselves, the weakness or the strength of how tight we tied the rubber band or not. I think it's just lovely. This again, when you move, when you walk, is just so beautiful. So perfect for Florida, California, where you can actually wear these things right now. Okay. All right, next slide, Kelly. Okay, so I do have this top, and I loved this because it's so graphic. And it's actually not bad on camera, I think I could wear this and maybe get away with it, especially if I was just showing plain colors. But I threw that scarf on her in the photo shoot, and I just love these two colors together. I love that kind of like chartreusey, mustardy olive green with the black. I think it's a great, it's a beautiful pairing, and I wanted to show how cool it looks to mix the different patterns, not just colors, but actually the different prints that we do. And this, I think, again, with just like some necklaces, some beautiful long jewelry. I love that she's got heels on, but I would also love this with an amazing little mule that they're showing. You could do this even with this would be beautiful, I think, with like a legging, a fitted legging, either to the ankle or a little bit cropped, but I think maybe ankle with like a beautiful little mule, or even like an evening mule. That would be so pretty. Oh my God, I love that. So I think this is just beautiful. And again, It's a really good saturated print. You know, one of the reasons I love my all over prints is because they sort of create an infinite canvas. And I feel that uh, out of the 25, almost 26 years that I've been doing this, I know very few women who are not concerned with some part on their body that they want to either hide or minimize or camouflage. Um, so the few out there who don't have to worry about that, I'm so happy for you. But my general overwhelming feeling is that women, you know, what they've told me over and over is like, I want to cover this, I want to hide that. So what an infinite print does for you in trying to camouflage is like it's worth its weight in gold. You just can't. I mean, it's really very difficult to focus on one area when you have such a strong all over print like this. Um, and that can be really, really helpful. And, you know, I think for a lot of women getting dressed and getting gussied up and, you know, leaving the house, and whether you're just going to go meet a friend for dinner or it's a fancier, bigger, more important occasion, I know that we all want to just feel our best when we leave the house. And so having something like this where I feel like, you know what, nobody can stare at my stomach or my boobs or my ass. And if they do, it's kind of like just the idea of my stomach or my boobs or my ass. It's really not, you know, it's not magnified and it's not in their face. So something like this that really is an all over infinite print is your new best friend. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, so that is the black and white one. Again, that was just like the green that I showed a minute ago. And I'll show them to you side by side. Okay. So with white pants, it was, I mean, an absolute beautiful piece of cake. Look at it. It's just so simple and, you know, a classic black and white. You can never go wrong. You can wear it all year round. It's just a beautiful piece. I think Katja did in the photo shoot, she kind of like unbuttoned these and she tied the front up kind of loose, which was really, really nice on her too. I'll try and find a picture of that for some other time. But this is great too. Like, I think this would be amazing. Unbuttoned a little bit with a hot pink camisole. Oh my God, amazing. That would be beautiful. Okay. Next slide, Kelly. Okay, another one of my favorites. So look at that. I'll hold still so you can see it. So this is actually the same piece that she's wearing in the photograph. And it is a little skewed color-wise here because I have a very a flooding, huge, actually fluorescent light over my head. But when we take these pictures in the studio, there are no filters on the lenses or anything. So that really is the color. The color really is this beautiful kind of, you know, cognac-y, whiskey base color with the black giraffe print on it. And I happen to be one of these people who believes that animal prints are really good on women. And they're good on most women. And if you're not exactly sure about this print, it might just be color. But I think that, you know, a leopard print, a giraffe print, a cheetah print, I think that these are phenomenal on all women of all ages, of all coloring. You know, it doesn't really matter. If you haven't tried on an animal print, do it soon because they're really fabulous. They're just so great on. And kind of reminds me of like the old days when people would drape those minks around them, you know, the old movie stars. It always freaked me out to see the animal head there, dead animal head. Not very glamorous to me, but I do get it, you know, that sort of like the earthiness of an animal and the beauty of an animal and the way they move and the way they feel. And so that you're like giving life to an animal print, and especially with this thing, just moving through, you know, just moving through a room in this is just, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. So that's that one. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, so this is another top. This is really like a little tunic slash dress that I did. Um, and I always was in love with flapper dresses. That drop waist thing with like the thing on the bottom. Like, oh, loved that so much. And, um, I've got bosoms, and flappers were really like, a lot of those women were very flat or almost no breasts whatsoever. And I wanted to kind of incorporate that flapper thing at the bottom with the skirt, um, but make it, user friendly for somebody like myself who has bosoms but doesn't necessarily want to throw them in your face all the time. So this was interesting too because um, I did this kind of like just sort of gentle sleeve, and it buttons there. So it's just a very loose thing. And also, like, I didn't want to make it a super fitted garment, and I wanted there to be movement. So this is again the silk double Georgette, the same one that I've been showing you in the blouse that I'm wearing. And just I wanted to have a very easy fit. And the skirt on the bottom is actually, it's lined, and it's not quite double, but it's actually meant to have this sort of like soft bubble at the bottom. So that bubble and that lining gives it incredible weight. So it sort of anchors the garment. So you have this, real sort of pulling down of the garment, which helps give you a much nicer line. It helps the body. And then you've got this like sort of swingy, swooshy thing when you walk, which is fantastic. This is beautiful. I also did another version where I lengthened it 4 inches, which is also very pretty. I wish I had one here to show you, but this is a great garment for, she's wearing it with pants. I wanted to show it with pants because to me it makes it a little less dressy. And I don't know, I think that that's kind of where, a lot of dressing has gone in America in the last, 30 years. Like now you have people who get on planes in their pajamas and their Ugg boots and this, loungewear, and they're very, very, very relaxed. And so, you know, this is who I'm, making clothes for and selling to. This is Americana. So I wanted to show it more relaxed. But this would be really great also with a good chunky boot that's almost to the knee. I think that that would look smashing, and also gives it a whole other kind of vibe and feeling, makes it definitely more casual, but funky and clearly not um, underdressed, like very dressed, but with a casual feeling. So I love that. It's a great dress. And of course, green. We love green. So thank you. Next slide, Kelly. I think it's the same one in the blue. This was beautiful. This was this crisp turquoise that I did. Very different than the aqua. It's more depth of the turquoise. We punched up the formula a little bit, and I'll come in slowly so it doesn't hopefully blur. But this has just a little bit of gray. We wanted to kiss it a little bit with gray, so that it was kind of like, I was going for something that looked like the sky when it's not a perfect day, but you do have those, those white clouds, but they are a little gray on the edges. And so this is so pretty. Again, another super, super pretty color. I think almost everybody can wear turquoise. This would be also gorgeous with pearls, I think. Light pearls, white pearls, gray pearls, black pearls. Some of those like pale pinky pearls are amazing. They're kind of like rose gold pearls. They're so pretty. But anyway, love this piece. It's a very, very happy little tunic. Okay, next slide, please, Kelly. Okay, so this is a really pretty blouse. I was so happy when we made this. So, this is kind of the counterpart to the one that I'm wearing. It's definitely more fitted, and you can see on Katja in the photo shoot, it's too big on her. But I didn't want to clip it on her in the back. I really want to show the beauty of the fabric and how it does lay and how it drapes. And I felt like if I pinned it, it was gonna kind of skew that a little bit. So it is a lovely, lovely thing. It's got a lot of really beautiful and intricate sewing on it. you know, it's sort of like got this tuxedo bib here. I don't know if you can see that. And a beautiful, beautiful little collar. And you can wear it buttoned up all the way, which makes it a little more formal, right? It's so pretty. But I like it open. And then it's got, you know, it's got a seam here and it's got this beautiful sort of skirt in the back. And again, you know, when you walk in this thing, it's got beautiful movement, beautiful movement. And that's what I wanted to go for. I don't know. Sometimes I think that, you know, with all the t-shirts and stuff that I do, I just really wanted something that was, you know, kind of alive and had this incredible movement and just was just, you know, like a skosh dressier and a little bit fancier. But we did this beautiful, you know, there's a big wide, it's a big cuff at the bottom, beautiful mother of pearl buttons. And again, it's just a lovely light thing. You want to put a scarf with it. You know, it's just as pretty as it gets. Just so pretty, so light, so feminine. A nice pair of pants with it. Call it a day. I also wanted to show it to you with this. Hard to look at with my pants in the frame. If you wanted to really shake things up, you could do that. Okay. Next slide, Kelly. And next slide again. And next slide again. There we go. Okay, the Pinky. Remember Pinky Tuscadero from Happy Days? Don't forget her. Anyway, so this is the same blouse. It is a little bit more fitted. Again, it was a little bit big on Katja, but here she is walking and it was beautiful. Has like that just beautiful movement. And I loved this pink with the gray. And you really do get these like darker spots in the pink, which are so lovely. So pretty. Oh, I was just crazy about this. Just crazy about this one. You know, I love pink and gray. I'm a big fan of pink and gray. And I think it's just very, very pretty, very elegant, very feminine. And we made matching little pants with it. And they were cropped. But with this one, the cropped was good. And I had a beautiful heel, little slingback silvery heel with it. That was gorgeous. Very feminine, very fancy, very dressed up, really super pretty. This one, you could put this scarf with it. That's nice. Kind of like, it kind of picks the pink up in it, brings it out a little bit more. So pretty. Yum. Okay, next slide, Kelly. All right, so this sort of like ode to Audrey Hepburn dress that I've been obsessed with. And you know, I also love pockets and I wanted to make sure that we did it with pockets. So where did I hang this dress? Oh my goodness, I can't find it. Okay, well, anyway, here it is in the blue. And it does have these beautiful pockets, nice and lined. Yeah, if you go back again to that thanks, Kelly. So she's got this very sort of like, it's sort of like a nice little mule. It's a nice little slide. And I love that it makes it a little bit more like, oh yeah, just running to the grocery store in the Hamptons to pick up a few things. You know, it's so pretty. It's so feminine, but it's relaxed and it's not over the top. And you could easily picture this with a really fancy pair of pumps or strappy high heels that would just completely change the whole thing. But I like this attitude that she's wearing with the flatter shoe that immediately signals that it's less dressy. And I really, really like that. And I love the neckline on her. I think it's just beautiful. I love the print. Again, I think it's an easy thing. Love it that it's casual. And then this one, if you go back to this slide, Kelly, we put a fancy pump on her. that, you know, obviously picks it up a little bit. But it's just a great dress, and I love that there's like this ease and this fantastic sort of swing in the dress, swing in this nice sweep at the bottom of the skirt. You know, it's a fairly big sweep. So you're going to get some, you know, catch some air and get some nice movement out of it when you walk in it. And again, I love the neckline because I feel like it's a good backdrop. Okay, it's a beauty. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, so this skirt, these are these bias skirts that I did, and they're just a really easy elastic waistband. You just pull them on. And I had actually done this skirt in a full length, like floor length bias skirt, a very drippy, sexy, you know, swooshy thing when you walk. Kelly, are you there?
You're back.
Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. I think we lost power here. We're having a very windy day, and that happens, unfortunately, with our power. Sometimes we get these surges. So hopefully you're still with us. Anyway, so she wanted the skirt a little bit shorter, so we kind of lopped it off. And as you can see in the photo, it's a really, really great length. That's my fleece tunic with the side slits. And I loved how that looked. I loved the mixing of the patterns again. Really, really pretty. And super, super slimming with that tunic over it. Just gives you, you know, that tunic has got those high side slits. It releases that hip area. And it's really, really super helpful on the body. Anyway, this was a silk charmeuse. And it's kind of an olive dye with the black print over it. And I just think it looks very, you know, it's very shimmery. And, you know, kind of like wearing jewelry in a skirt. Okay, next slide, please, Kelly. This was so pretty. So this is the long version, just so you can see it. And just like she's wearing, this is a tonal print. So it was a gray dye and sort of a darker gray, a gray on gray. And I love this because I felt like it looks you know, kind of like metal, like kind of metallic. And then with that beautiful cardigan over it. So kind of a super fancy dressy garment, the skirt. And then, you know, kind of pulling it back a little bit and making it not so dressy and a little less formal and, you know, very comfy and kind of drippy and sexy. And covering, you know, the cardigan covers the bum completely in the back. And again, just loose and comfortable and elegant. Very, very pretty outfit. I'll show you this skirt with it too. That might be on the next slide. Oh, that's on the right side. So that was just, okay. You can see that. It's a beautiful dye. This skirt gets a lot of variation. A lot of different variation in color. And I love that. We call it a crystal wash because you can see it almost kind of looks like crystals and snowflakes. Anyway, that's lovely. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Okay, so I think this was like the first green one that I did, kind of rogue hair. So hand paints are something that I've done really from the beginning. From the beginning of my fabric dyeing odyssey, the beginning of the odyssey. And this is like an emerald dye with black. Hard to see it. But again, this is the same skirt that you're looking at in the photograph. So color can be skewed because of my overhead light. It was very, very pretty, and I loved that cardigan that we did with it too. Super yummy outfit. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Is that the end of our slides?
Yes, I do have more videos if you'd like to see any.
Oh yeah, let's show them a few more videos. That'd be great. So pretty, hooray! You have one or two more? Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks, Kelly. You're the best. So this is another thing that I also, a beautiful blouse that I did out of this double silk georgette. And this is this process that we call rain wash because it looks like little raindrops. And it's magic. It's so pretty. So I sort of did this kind of like nice little tie at the sleeve, little piratey thing. And it's very pretty because it's just, you know, it's an A-line. It's got some tiers. I thought we had a picture of this, but anyway, it's nice because what I really like about this is, you know, having big boobs has been a little bit limiting for me in that, you know, there's always like a baby doll thing that I love that I want to wear, and then I put it on and my boobs just look too big and it throws the whole thing off. But anyway, I worked really hard on this pattern with my pattern maker, who's wonderful. And it's kind of nice because, you know, the boobs kind of bring it out a little bit, and then this is all loose. So it is an A-line. And we took it to just the right length. You know, it's not too long and it's not too short, because if this thing was too short, it would ruin the whole thing. But it's a very, very lovely, pretty, soft, feminine top. I think you could wear it with a skirt, a nice A-line skirt. I think you could wear it with jeans, these bootleg leggings that I'm doing. And I did it also in this beautiful blue. So this is the counterpart. And I love the neutrality of both of these. But the light blue is this periwinkle blue that I'm just fixated and addicted, you know, fixated on this color. And you can really see the pattern. Beautiful. A lot of nice variation in this. Okay, so there's the picture. And again, it's a little bit big on her, but what isn't? So, but it looks really, really pretty. And it's such a beautiful, soft, and very feminine top to wear. And it really has a lot of great swooshy movement when you walk. And I love the detail. I love the little bow at the wrist. That's so feminine. You can see it on her. It's so pretty. Anyway, so this again is that double silk georgette fabric, and it's it's just so good to the body. It's so good on the body. It does wonderful things for the body. Okay, next slide, Kelly. Oh, I guess we're out of slides. So I'm just riffing, man. Okay, so I also wanted to show you this, which is kind of a continuation of that little 3-tiered blouse that I did. And I really just made this simple dress. And that's lovely. I wish I had a photograph of this, but we'll shoot it on her at the next photo shoot. But it's lovely. And again, I would love this with like little ballerina flats, but I'd also love it with, you know, like not too high heel of a boot, like a chunky, thick, nice thick heel to kind of throw it off. They showed a lot of this really sort of airy, floaty stuff with like these combat boots and these really thick lug sole. And I loved it because it was so opposite looking. They took something really, really feminine and kind of toughened it up with those boots. I was crazy about it. And, you know, that's a sad thing about the pandemic is that there's this whole, you know, sect of art, you know, that fashion that we didn't get to see it because I know that a lot of those things were not shipped. I think a lot of those designers, American, European, you know, the Italian, Parisian, all those people, like a lot of those companies really didn't ship that stuff. So these were sort of lost collections. They talk about the lost, you know, years of what this is going to do to children who are missing kindergarten or first grade and how important that is. And I think it's equally important that these collections that are so beautiful and really, really, you know, like poured over the people, their time, their money, everything to put together these collections, and then they're not seen. So I was heartbroken. But anyway, they did show a lot of this very floaty stuff with these sort of like heavier lug-soled, you know, combat boots. And I think it looks fabulous. It's feminine and tough at the same time. It's so pretty. So these were some more of my more shaped double Georgette blouses. And I love this for it's sort of like, you know, emeraldy, turquoisey aqua, you know, with the black, which always anchors it. Right, and especially right down the middle and on the side gives you that sort of slimming, you know, it's an optical illusion, but it really, really helps. You know, you look slimmer. That was so pretty. The blues and greens and the blacks. This was a beautiful piece that we did. This one is a little harder to see, but certainly not worth skimming over because it was a lot of really dark purple, really rich regal purple. It's hard to get it with this fluorescent over me, but it's so pretty and so, you know, this is really like a jewel tone, just a beautiful, rich jewel tone piece. I wanted to show you that. And what else? I did these lovely sort of straight skirts that are just, they have the slightest A-line. And again, this would look great with all the high boots that they're showing, you know, high up near the knee, you know, those really amazing, even with a high heel, just kind of like that sexy secretary look I love. And this you could even wear with like, you know, a little bit of something that blouses over a little bit, or even like those sweatshirts that they're kind of showing them a little tucked in the front. And you have, again, that softness and that sort of, that casualness with something that is so rich and such a fine garment. So really pairing like the fancy with the casual and getting that nice balance that seems, you know, so effortless. Not just effortless looking, but, you know, makes you feel less sort of over the top and less dressy. And, you know, that's one thing that I really, really love about what I do is like, I want to make stuff that people can wear the crap out of. So I want you to wear it, and I want you to mess around with how you're going to wear it and making it work for you. But I think that is so pretty. And just even this with just like a white t-shirt, a short sleeve t-shirt, a long sleeve white fitted t-shirt, I think would be phenomenal with this. And then you put on all your jewelry and it's fabulous. Even a little tiny necklace. So that was a beauty. Again, one of my favorite colors and prints. I just think that is so fabulous. I can't even stand it. I can't stand it. Okay. This one was pretty too. The same blue again. I just went crazy with printing them. I love these areas of like, you know, less saturation. They look like little like, you know, like kind of holes in the sky of the color. It was beautiful. I had a few more that I wanted to show you because they were so pretty and I was having such fun with them. Where's that green one? So this is this green on green tonal thing that I was doing. They started doing for spring. And it's the tonal dark green stripe. I don't know if you can see it. That's a little clearer there. But this is a very, very rich, dark, dark green. And it's a more blue green than it is yellow green. And I love that you have these variations in the color sort of peeking through. But again, I think that this would be fabulous with just a black t-shirt. Just a black t-shirt or a black tank top. Black tank top with the cardigan or a black tank top with a scarf. Black t-shirt with a scarf. You know, boots, a little slide, a flip-flop, whatever. This can be worn so many different ways. Okay. I had a few others in the straight skirt. So this was beautiful in the aqua with the gray. Loved that. I mean, with just a little silver sandal, right? And a little white tank top. I'm wearing, it looks like I'm wearing a black top with it. I think it's fabulous. I mean, I think it looks so, so pretty. And then it's just a skirt and you're like, you're done, but you're done. And you look amazing, but you're not over the top and you feel comfortable enough to leave the house. And, you know, then you have a swagger. This was this beautiful pink and gray I did again. So it's a pink and gray background with this kind of soft dot gray print on the top. I just think it's fabulous. This kind of makes me think like this would be great with like a little silk kimono, like just a little tank top underneath, a little silk kimono that you actually belt, right? And then you've got like another great outfit. And it's just, these are just fabulous, fabulous separates that are so incredibly wearable. Okay, I think that I have actually shown everything on both these racks. And I'm looking, I think we're good. And just a few of the long skirts over here. But again, this is just a fabulous long bias skirt. And if you had something like this, you know, over it, what can I tell you? Piece of cake. Anyway, ladies, thank you for sharing this time with me on Thursdays. I always have a great time. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at annie@annieturbin.com. You can book a Zoom with me for a half hour if you'd like me to highlight anything special or just, you know, anything in general for you. Those have been really, really great. And that's the story. That's it, I guess. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.